Laura. Welcome back to my channel. Xdinary Heroes is back with Voyager. Let's go ahead and see what this is all about. I'm super excited. Ooh, already? Dramatic. Ooh, it's in space. That's immediately what I was thinking of when I heard that sound. Ooh, nice. The synthesizer here is so cool. Ooh, that filter too? Ooh, is that double pedaling in the drums? It kind of sounds like it. That change here in the pre-chorus with that double pedaling is so incredible. I can't tell if that's double pedaling or it's just like work on the toms. I don't know. Ooh. This is different. Nice. Ooh, a little bit of backing vocal there. Ooh, nice vocals. Ooh, I just got goosebumps. Oh, yes. Wow. Love that background, making it feel like space again. Okay, guys. Is this by chance my favorite Xdinary Heroes song? Has it taken the place of Instead for me? Perhaps. I'm gonna have to continue to listen to it to see what I feel, but this was so incredibly good. I'm so impressed. I love the sound from them. I loved the space feel. I think especially with the intro and the outro, you definitely got like the feeling of being in space, which I think was really, really important. Absolutely adored that. I also wonder, like how they like put them like on the planet. I'm sure it's like some sort of green screen, but it just looks so realistic. I guess it's just technology these days, right? What I absolutely enjoyed the synthesizer the entire time. Okay, I am a huge proponent of synthesizers. I love them. I'm a keyboardist myself. I play the piano and everything, and so I love a good like synthesizer. And through this, like, it's such an important an important instrument in this song, because again, makes you feel like space, like you're in space. It brings out so many different like sounds and things like that. So I really enjoyed that aspect, especially in that introduction. It really made you feel like you were in space from the very beginning. In the first verse, I love the filter over his voice, making him sound naturally far away. Again, giving you that space element within everything that was going on. And then throughout, I wrote a couple of lyrics, and one of the lyrics I wrote down here in verse 1 was, I wonder if you hear me, I worry that you can't. And as we go through in the rest of the song, it's basically about like seemingly taking this journey away from a person you love or you care about, and you're now making that journey back. And we see, if I'm not mistaken, there was a couple of times where it looked like someone who is older, like looking through like a spaceship or something, like glass. And it made me feel like they had gone somewhere in the universe and then they're coming back to, because they mentioned like the pale blue dot, which is Earth, like coming back to it. So I'm really curious about that aspect as well. And if you guys picked up on that at all. And then we get into the pre-chorus, and the drums went insane. Are you kidding? That was so good. I'm not 100% sure, because I don't know. I mean, even though I've studied music, my entire life, my main focus has always been vocal. And even though I've done some classes and work with percussion, and I was a percussionist, I was a mallet percussionist, so it's a little bit different. I didn't really focus on the drums at all. So it's one of those things where I'm not 100% sure, but what it sounded like in the background, because I listened to some metal music, was double pedaling. And what that basically is a way to do things on the bass drum, and it like really sets things apart. So I wasn't sure if it was double pedaling or if it was doing something on the toms. I would have to see, up close to kind of like actually know for sure, or speak to someone who's a percussionist who could tell me 100%. But the way that it was coming through, regardless, that increasing the rhythmic element in the drum was so intense, and it was such a good change from the first verse. I really, really enjoyed that. And then we have the change in the chorus, which I found really interesting, because it felt more like you were out in the open in the universe, because of the way that, the verse and the pre-chorus were very longing, and then you get to like the chorus, it's a little more hopeful. At least that's how it felt to me. So it felt like everything was more open. And then in verse 2, it felt like they said something about my pale blue dot, which, that's made me wonder, are they coming back to Earth? And they talked about like this journey that they were going on. So that's where I was like, I wonder what's this about exactly, because when you're looking at something the first time, you can't catch everything. So that's what the gist I got, right? And then in the pre-chorus, again, just so nice. But this time the pre-chorus was extended a little bit. Towards the end, there was a little bit of a change in it before going back into the chorus, and I was like, oh, this is really nice. And it was almost like just doing a little bit of extension to kind of like give more tension and suspension into what was going to happen next before going into that chorus. And then another lyric that I noticed in the chorus this time was like a star does when it dies. There were so many good like references in picture creations within this song, which I absolutely loved. And then of course the bridge, kind of going back to what we had heard, but adding some additional vocals. I really loved the O part, because it also kind of sounded like in the background, like there were some big O chords, almost again like you were in space or something, or like it was like a higher being or something you're hearing that from. And then I love how rather than like going back into the chorus like full speed, they had like just the beginning with the simplistic guitar backing, and then going and hitting hard with that O in the background, really, really full. And then pulling away for the little outro, kind of like a fade out, which I really loved, and then going back into the alien sound, or like spacey sound, which I absolutely adored. So this was such an incredible song. And I have a feeling when I go back and listen to it again, and like usually the second time is when I try to pay more attention to the lyrics, because the first time is just kind of getting the overall picture right, and then, you know, the second and third time, because I usually listen to songs about 3 times before I make my final distinctions or decisions on anything, or more, it just depends. But that's usually kind of my number to like decide things of like how I feel about a song. And I know that when I go back and I look at the lyrics and I look at some of the other things within this song, that I'm going to find even more that I love about this. But I'm curious what you guys think. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite part in this particular song or MV? I really, really enjoyed that pre-chorus. Like I said, the drums went so hard, but I really loved the synthesizer too. So tell me what your guys' thoughts are down below, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.